Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'd like to begin by introducing Renee Brown, the WNBA Chief of Basketball Operations and Player Relations.
Thank you, Ron, and thank you, everyone, for coming here this evening. I'm going to make this quick because if you know Cheryl, she's ready to get a ball game going in a couple hours. Of all of the awards that the Minnesota Lynx players and teams have received, the Defensive Player of the Year award is the first time that they've received this award. What's interesting is that Sylvia, personally, has received this award now for the third time, and she's in good company with players that have received it 3 or more times, in Tamika Catchings, and the second player, I've got to go to my notes, is Cheryl Swoops. And so Sylvia, for you, it's great to see that you're getting this award.
Thank you.
And she really is just going from where she ended last year when she was MVP of the final. She stepped in and has started 34 games. She makes a difference inside for the Minnesota Lynx. So with that being said, Sylvia, without further ado, congratulations.
Thank you.
On winning the award. So I'm going to come up here. You're going to come up here with me. So let's give her a round of applause, please. You take it by yourself. Stand right there by yourself. Sylvia. Thank you. Sylvia. Thank you.
Okay, Sylvia, if you would, and after Sylvia's remarks, we'll open it to questions.
This award is amazing. Like I said before, a lot of that has to do with my teammates for not letting me settle and pushing me every day to be what they know I can be. And I just want to thank them. Thanks to the league for presenting me with this award. And I'm happy with this award, but I'm ready to play.
Okay, questions? Charles?
Sylvia, just in terms of, you won this award before, but how different or how better perhaps this award is compared to the others, or have you had a chance to reflect on that?
Different in the aspect that I'm here with the Minnesota Lynx. Different as in I have a lot of teammates who is also good on defense, who I pride myself after. One of them is Rebecca Brunson. Just to try to be as active as her and just to go out and follow her lead, and she lead by example. So that's one person that I do look up to.
John, to the right.
Sylvia, how has your defensive game evolved since joining the Minnesota Lynx?
I pretty much came in fitting in where Cheryl put me. I don't think she tried to make me into this defensive player. She pretty much just kept me into my groove and fit me right in the system, and I just was that missing puzzle.
Second row left, Mike.
Sylvia, this on? You've been able to keep up this intensity throughout the season, led the league in defensive rating, and you also had to balance the Olympics. On top of that, how do you think the depth of this team helped you preserve this defensive tenacity that you've showcased throughout the year?
My teammates help a lot because everybody brings the energy, and I don't feel like I have to be that go-to person to get everything done. I think we equally balance from the first to the 11th woman on the bench, and I think that's how I've been able to keep up this intensity.
To the center.
So we know Cheryl's a defensive-minded coach, but since your arrival in Minnesota, obviously you were a great defensive player before, but is there anything in particular that she helped you improve on that side of the ball?
I know I was more so of a roamer in Chicago, and once I got here, all that changed, and that was something that I had to get used to, just guarding my man and my man only, and if it comes in the paint, I might have a chance to get it, but if not, don't worry about it. And that was one of the biggest difference that's from when I came here to Minnesota.
Thank you. Renee?
Okay, so on to the next award. And as I was thinking about this award, I read this quote from Gino that I'm sure you guys have all read it when it came to Cheryl Reeves. And he said he wanted to hire or work with a coach that understood the mindsets of pro players. And I thought about that. I said, that's exactly what Cheryl does. She's the type of coach, she believes in listening to her players. She encourages conversations with her players, and you can see it every game when she has Lindsay, especially on the side before the game starts. I also read where she wrote, and she talked about connecting at all times. And I believe that's the reason why they hold the best record in the WNBA at 28-6. And to think about it, that they've had the best record 4 out of the last 6 years is remarkable, and it has a lot to do with Cheryl coaching. As we all know, she is a fierce competitor. Does everybody agree with that? Fierce competitor. But what I think that people don't recognize is her preparation that she puts in to each and every game and every team that she plays. I think it's very important to her. She has a great understanding of the game, passionate about the game. I read this article where Don Staley said she completely loves the game. She's brought the Minnesota Lynx 3 championships. In the last 6 years, she's held the best scoring record 4 times. And also in the last 6 years, they've won 22 games or more. So without further ado, Cheryl, on behalf of Lisa Borders and the WNBA, congratulations on winning the 2016 WNBA Coach of the Year.
Thank you. Did you get one?
Sit there, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just sit it right there.
I want to start off by acknowledging the other coaches in this league. It's the 20th season of the WNBA. This is my 16th. That hit me this morning. I was like, wow, I've been a part of, I've seen a lot of coaches, and I think that coaching in this league is at an all-time high. And there were so many coaches this year that I thought were worthy of consideration for this award. So I just want to give them a shout out. I enjoy the challenge that they pose every night. I think we all enjoy that we bring out the best in each other. The next part, is clearly the staff that we have. I know Syl can attest to kind of what makes this thing go is the behind the scenes, led by Associate Head Coach Jim Peterson, who has been exemplary for us, continues to get better every year. Shelley Patterson, Wes Bond, Annie Isler kind of rounds out the coaching staff, and then our support staff, Chuck Barda and his medical team, and then Claire DeWillius, who does everything. And so, I share this award with every one of them. So a debt of gratitude to them. Lastly, obviously, it's about the players. There's no way that I'm sitting here without a player like this, doing what she does for us. And then obviously, Lindsay, Simone, Maya, Rebecca, who have been at the core of this thing since I've been here. There's not been a day that I've had a bad day being the Minnesota Lynx head coach. I've never had a situation where I just feel every day just a blessing just to share in this with them. They let me be a part of it. And so I'm grateful to all that they do, and the fact that they let me be myself. That's probably the most important thing. I hope that I do that for them, but it's certainly something I know that they do for me, and that's pretty important in life in general. So the last thing, we've Renee kind of threw around some statistics. The statistic that's on my mind these days is that women make up 40% of those that are participating in sports, but yet the coverage is just 3 to 4%. And so I'm really hopeful that all of us in this room today can walk out of here wanting to do better for women in sport, whether it's volleyball. It doesn't matter the sport. We deserve better, not because we're women, because we're tremendous athletes, and we deserve the coverage. And so I hope all of you will take this back and think about the way that you cover. And that being said, we are really, really excited to embark on Game 2 of the semifinals. Thank you all for being here.
First question, John, to the right.
Coach, you won this award in 2011. How was this journey to Coach of the Year different than that first one?
Wow, it's just so different. I'm I wasn't coloring my hair then, I don't think. It's definitely something that's a must these days. We were so young and so new on the journey together. I still remember the training camp like it was yesterday in 2011. It was the training camp of 2011 was when the Minnesota Lynx were born. Our identity was born. And it's just, we've just had, we were a part of the climb then. The climb is, as easy as they say. They kept waiting for the Minnesota Lynx to collapse, and we didn't. And then, we've just continued to, kind of have a consistency about us in the way that we compete. That's allowed us to, through the years, be successful. This year is different in that, goodness, if I read all the, if I really believed all that I read about the Minnesota Lynx, I would have come equipped to training camp with rocking chairs and canes, and that we were done. And maybe even a little bit internally in our organization of that. I had a sense, and I thought, what the heck's going on here? WNBA players play for a long time. This is not like football. You turn 27 and you're done. We have great players that take care of themselves, that are smart. They have an intelligence about the game, and when you do that, you can play for a long, long time. And so, this one was for all those people that thought we were done. This is for them.
Cheryl, to your left.
Just kind of follows up on that question, but what was the biggest challenge unique to the 2016 season to get where you are right now?
I think for me as a coach, probably the biggest challenge was to trust beyond that core. I would include Syl in that core. So trust beyond the starting five, because they deserved it. Number one, beyond the starting five. Someone like Renee Montgomery, who chose to return to the Minnesota Lynx, deserved the opportunity to be on the floor. Gia Perkins, obviously, as a veteran. Natasha Howard, I wasn't sure what she deserved. She turned out to be decent, earned her playing time. Obviously, Janelle McCarville. So for me, it was just, it was necessary for the good of the entire group, not just for the starters to help them navigate their way through the season, but I think also, for if you're around our team, the energy on this team is unbelievable. And I think it's because they all share in it. They all have ownership. They all have a piece of it. And they all feel really important. And I think that's been a big part of it.
Cheryl, you get this award in the wake of your 30th playoff win, which ties you with Bill Laimbeer, one of your mentors. So who do you credit, I guess, in past and present, to keep you innovative and keep you going as you continue to rack up coaching milestones here?
Well, I think more than anything, like I said in the top of my statement, that it's the coaches in this league. And obviously, I'll tell you, the players in this league keep you on your toes, because this league is evolving. We were just talking about we're strategizing for teams, and maybe in the beginning part of the league in my first couple of years, it was if you took away this person or that person, you really were able to kind of stall an offense. Anymore, there's great challenges in taking away what teams do. And that's a credit to the players. We said scoring is up in the league, scoring is up in the playoffs. And that's not because all defenses are bad. Some are, but not all defenses are bad. And so, I think that's I don't know where I forget what the question was, Mike. I'm sorry.
Who do you credit?
Oh, who do I credit? Yeah, the coaches. Yeah, the coaches in the league. Not Bill Laimbeer. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, Bill's a big part of it. There's no question. Bill's a big part of it. My edginess, Bill allowed me to be, and said, that's who you should be. And so I appreciate that about him. And I would give a great deal of credit to Bill. As many battles as we had in our conversations. I probably disagree with most of what he said, but there were a few things that he said that he was absolutely right on. And then I think the thing that he was really good at was player management. He was a player, and he understood it, and he taught me that part of it, and he takes credit for that. But I think the rest of the coaches in the league, it's like I said, the challenge every night of knowing how good they are, and if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, you're going to get beat. That's a tremendous motivator.
Okay, last question, Kyle in the middle.
Cheryl, congrats. With the Olympic break and having a different role as a coach, was there anything you were able to take back and kind of learn from that role into the kind of the second half of the season?
Yeah, we took some things X and O wise. I thought more than anything, what I wanted to be able to do was the four Olympians they were in a mode of operation over there that I didn't want them to, have to come back and kind of readjust. And so we tried to carry some of the schemes over. I think Gino showed us, I've been a little bit more, as I've gone through it with these guys, less is more of a mindset. I think Gino reminded me that you can actually push these guys pretty hard, and they can handle it. I think in general, it's just a group that, man, I have a real appreciation for. I've got a really great group of Olympians that are tremendous people. But what this league is today, I have a tremendous appreciation for, having been over there with 12 of, the greatest that the league has to offer. And by the way, we left a couple home that were pretty darn good too. And I think for me, it's the quality of people. And this league is just, in its 20th season, it's just, I'm just proud to be a part of it every day.